Jessica is the supply chain manager for Greenham's. Greenham's has long been running their Never Ever program and looking to expand it, possibly, into regenerative principles. And Greenham's is a strong supporter of young people in the industry, as evidenced by Jess even being here in this role. So to talk about their work, please welcome Jess.
Thanks for that, Rebecca. Yes, certainly I've recently joined the Greenham team only in December, actually relocated from Queensland down to Victoria in mid-January, so very new to the area and new to the Greenham team, but have been in the beef processing area for nearly a decade. I mightn't look like it, but had a little bit of experience, so much more to learn though. But I guess I'm here today for two reasons. So firstly, Greenham's direct support of the Young Farmer program. For those of you who aren't familiar with Greenham as a business, they are an export beef processor. We operate 3 plants, one in Smithton in the northwest of Tasmania and 2 in Victoria. One down in Moe, which they purchased in 2017, and one in Tongala, which the company actually built back in 1993. It was their first plant and actually Australia's first hot boning plant. So the family went over and studied the high efficiency boning process over in New Zealand and brought that back to Australia specifically to target high quality manufacturing beef for the US. They then purchased Smithton in 2002 in Tasmania with a very similar business model in mind. Got there and saw the lush pastures of Tasmania and got to really know the farmers and saw there was a really unique opportunity to access a different kind of marketplace to what they were used to, which is very much a consumer-centric, high-quality beef market tailored to meeting the various needs of consumers. So in terms of the young farmers, I suppose Greenham operate on 3 values, or 3 key sort of values. One is that direct relationship with suppliers, and that is really prominent. For me, coming into Greenham, the relationships that we do have with the suppliers is really great. It's an open conversation, very much a partnership. That theme of partnerships has been spoken about today, but you know, Peter Greenham was able to do the job he did down in Tasmania because he lived in the town in Stanley near the plant for quite some time, built really strong relationships with the farmers, and together they worked out a method to work with customers and market that beef in a really unique way and draw on the story those farmers had to tell. And you'll see in a lot of the Greenham marketing material that the farmers and their stories are first and foremost, and that's very much a key factor around how our beef is marketed. The next part, giving back to local communities. Greenham are very big on the communities in which they operate, supporting local clubs, sports, and making sure there's viable employment opportunities for local people coming through the community so that they can stay in those regional cities and that they remain really viable. And then investing in the future of our industry. So support of the Young Farmers program is one of those things, one of those initiatives, but also they have had a long-standing relationship with Marcus Oldham College, offering a scholarship to students there each year. And I was there only 2 weeks ago for the interviews for that scholarship, and I can tell you I think our industry will be in safe hands with some of these very young, passionate people who are very keen to make a difference coming through. In terms of the product, I did say that Greenham has focused very heavily around meeting those more niche needs. So 70% of our product actually goes over to the US. Over there, with a population of 400 million, you only need to satisfy the desires or needs of a small percent of the population to actually create a really strong market, and that's something that our Never Ever program has been built around. Currently, it's heavily focused on grass-fed. We have an antibiotic-free, HCP-free claims on that product. But the big thing that we're seeing come through, and more questions from both consumers and our customers directly, is the environmental impact of our supply chain, but more collectively of red meat. And, for me, only just sort of starting to learn more about regenerative, I get really excited to come into things like this because it's really starting to flip the story that we have to tell around red meat, getting away from the data of the traditional debate of specifically what are our emissions and things, to actually present a really positive, offensive story of, well, hang on, we've got this beautiful big carbon sink that we're farming on that actually has this opportunity to improve the situation for other industries that we're seeing people buying, carbon credits and things. So I guess for me, in terms of my passion in this space, there is just so much opportunity and strength moving forward for our industry and the products that we have to sell if we can get really smart around how we tell that story, but also how we verify that for consumers. And I'll wrap it up there because I heard a bell. Sorry about that.